This video was requested by one of my patients to help with recovery after the end of the training session, right? This is specifically to address some of the cool down after the main work has been done. What happens is after you do, 20 to 40 minutes of swings and get-ups and presses and loaded carries, you start to develop some, appropriate tightness, appropriate fatigue in the glutes, sometimes in the back as well. What you want is a way to make sure that everything gets back to being supple, right? A way to wash out the tension that you've been deliberately cultivating prior to getting back to regular life. So what this is the sequence of yoga poses, frankly, that I use to help me do the equivalent of mentally putting that stuff away for a second so that I can be a bit more supple, a bit more relaxed, instead of that high tension version of me that needs to exist in order to press, a 40 kilogram bell overhead or something like that. Typically, we'll start with a crocodile breathing done on the belly. The idea is that as you breathe deep into your abdomen, you should feel your belly expanding laterally, as if you're a crocodile, right? That's the mental image. From there, I press into a child's pose and do that same breathing pattern. I should feel some of that tension expand into my belly, but because I'm stacked over my quads, I'll feel it go into the small of my back as well. From there, I move on to a cobra pose and just very gently practice extending my back, because one of the big things with the kettlebell swing specifically is that I'm actively teaching myself to not extend, right? And it's not that extension is inherently good or bad. It's that in the middle of that swing, extension is a problem. But for a lot of the other things I do, extension is, kind of necessary. So we want to make sure that we have the ability to maintain that. And then to facilitate that even further, or really develop that capacity, right, using the proper terminology, from Cobra, I'll transition to something called a press up, where I'm actively trying to extend from my head down to my glutes, trying to go one vertebrae at a time. So I start from my neck down to my butt going up, and then from my hips, my butt going down to my neck on the down face. From there, I just transition to this kneeling position. Notice that my toes are still dorsiflexed. Practice a few deep breaths. And once that's all settled out, I step forward, right? Half kneeling lunge, get up and move on with the day. This thing in real life takes about 2 to 3 minutes.